Ghosts can't feel fresh snow on their fingertips, and they can't smell the fragrance of roses. A ghost's translucent tongue won't ever taste strawberries again, and their hands fall right through any soft or hard thing. While our ties to the earth still burn brightly enough, there exists a window of time to put our human lives to bed. With every moment the ties fade. Usually by the end of a week, the ghosts, starved of the life they once greedily tasted and touched and smelled, will vanish from the world for the rest of time. But ghosts can hear music. The sound of music ripples through their misty bodies, and when it does, their ties to life on earth flicker brighter. On our earth, there are ghosts who sustain themselves on morsels of song, who have clung to their human lives so reverently that they remain here for years after their deaths. Clockwork folk will come, all bright-eyed and open-mouthed for morsels of song, for morsels of song. There is a pretty white house built on the edge of the sea, seemingly perched atop the water like a floating iced Christmas cake. What would they give now to have the richness of Christmas cake sit plump in their mouths, to have the heady smell of alcohol-soaked fruits fill their noses? The house lights up at 9:15, and like clockwork, 24 ghosts glide across the bay, leaving not a breath of air, not a wrinkle in the water. They pour out into the front living room, where the old man sits at his piano every night to play a book of preludes or a sentimental song from an old show. These days, finding a reliable spring of music isn't so easy. The concert halls have long been closed, children's choirs disbanded. Even the sound of organs from church services are rare to overhear. Concert hall ghosts, opera house ghosts, and cathedral ghosts had dispersed like ashes in the wind since, and now most of them have taken up a quiet residence in the homes of musicians. Clockwork folk will come, all bright-eyed and open-mouthed for morsels of song, for morsels of song. The 24 ghosts seeking refuge in the old man's house rest in the open lid of the instrument. They cocoon themselves close to the strings as the old man gently bends the spine of a new songbook, settles into his chair, and then begins to play. When the songbook is closed 40 minutes later, the summer moon is high in the sky and pink as a peach. What would they give now to hold a ripe Chinese peach in their palms, to press its fuzzy skin against their cheeks? The tie is thin as a thread of gossamer. A ghost far out on the water watches the Christmas cake house in silence and is quietly siphoned off the sea.
hold the handrail whilst travelling.
Dear customers, we are doing everything we can to keep our customers and colleagues safe at this time. Please help us by keeping 2 meters distance between you and other people while you shop.
We meet on a Zoom screen after months apart, and we chat about our different experiences of the coronavirus pandemic. We speak of identities shaken, calendars unravelled, of an acute sense of privilege, waves of helplessness and hopelessness when we contemplate the wider world. Sitting with my diary, one thing after another, unravelled. Deleting, deleting, deleting. Staring into a black hole. Nobody needs me to be anywhere. By week 4, I had become a complete nosy neighbour, spying through the blinds on illegal visitors and wondering if I should call the police. And then there was that moment when our musical voices first reconnected.
That felt like life. We've been hibernating in our cocoons under the snow, and suddenly there is life and there is hope. I've been thinking a lot about privilege and how those who struggle most to begin with almost always end up being the ones paying the highest price. And I have been daily aware of the gut-wrenching amount of privilege I have. Even among the privileged, I am privileged. And I don't know what to do with that.
So here's a tangent that's born out of exhaustion. There's so much going on in that process of language and concepts becoming so filtered and used and twisted that they're just dead sound. They're like the ghosts of meaning. That idea of words that were created within a community initially that get damaged when they're transferred into the wider consciousness.
Sounds of concepts. Concepts. Created initially that when damaged they transferred into the consciousness. Created initially that when damaged they transferred. They transferred into the consciousness. They meaning words. Idea of concepts. Ghosts of words. Of that idea of words were created initially. Community get that damaged when transferred. That damage. Community get that damaged and transferred that damage. Consciousness that created. They get damaged. They transferred wider meaning. Ghosts of within words. Damaged words were initially that. Damaged words were initially that reghosts meaning within ghosts of a community, like sounds, language, words. Within that created idea ghosts. Get that. Damaged ghosts. Words were initially ghost-like. Idea transferred into the consciousness. Initially words of words. Created community, created words.
Yeah, like words not specifically even tied to a community, like accountability or justice also come to mind. Within capitalism, any fight can be commodified or made meta, and so you can have these symbols of awareness as like a product without the responsibility of having any sort of action plan.
Sort concepts like mind be of meaning and get ghosts an idea have created within an idea. Justice a plan. Like made in action. Damaged accountability. Or justices. Awareness were not mind. That any of damaged accountability. And then into the created consciousness within. Action without like justice the action plan. That so transferred action. Of action into the just like responsibility of words, accountability, not mind twisted, tied dead the within, like a without awareness, tied dead the within, like a without awareness, twisted, responsibility within, meta, within meta ghosts. So having can as symbols awareness as just can.
So affiliation culture and taking the right position dominates. A transferred consciousness of symbols, as my friends say, a kind of deletion of present in which actual meaning can be replaced by new starts under titles.
Damage sounds. There's any fight made it. And so symbols awareness, like a product, the responsibility of any sort of action so cultured, so taking in right position. Dominates, even deletion of a present, which actual friends present.
That immediately reminds me of that book, No Logo, by Naomi Klein, where she talks about brands as inherently parasitic and hollow, because they can't offer any new ideas lest they risk offending. So the only words they have are the ones that they can steal from other people, but they then dilute the impact of those words by placing them behind a brand.
Behind meaning. Commodified awareness made new within any symbols. Affiliation culture, and the right dominance of a deletion, kind and of ones, of a deletion kind and of ones, steal people, lest they steal people, lest they, a community get damaged, come wider consciousness. A community get damaged, come wider consciousness, fight. Meta, fight meta. Nami dominates deletion as fight. Nami dominates deletion as fight. Damaged actual from symbols that they offered, come specifically, within specifically, and be created. Affiliation talks. They consciousness friends. Affiliation talks. They consciousness friends. New words me meta. Of my they have brands in any fight. Meta. Filtered becoming filtered. So by you like a product. Hollow commodified. Are those new words? Hollow commodified. Are those new words? In any meaning, they cannot by words. In any meaning, they can. that by words, consciousness, words, consciousness, words, justice talks. They wider, justice talks. They wider, they steal, they like, they ghost, they steal, they like, they ghost.